Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. If you are here in the GTA area or in another place where there's a snowstorm today, hope you are safe and warm inside. Um, my name is Anna Angelova, and I am the co-host of More Than Just Task Management and co-founder of Plandor. I'm a business consultant and coach specializing in productivity and personal development. And as always, I have Joris Minsfand here with me, the other co-host. Good morning, Joris.
Good morning, Anna. Good morning, everyone. This is Joris. I'm also the co-host and co-founder of Plandor. And we not really day of on Sunday to talk to you about habits.
Oh yeah. Today our topic is how small actions actually make a big difference. And of course, these small actions are our habits, and um,
Why are they important, and why do we need to be able to recognize them and control them? Both the negative to eliminate the negative negative effects and build on the positive effects.
Absolutely. And you were actually just listening, I think, on Blinkist. You were just listening to a book about habits, right? I think a few
Yep.
of them actually.
Yeah, there were a few of them, and even like the books that are not focused on habits, they talk about habits because they're become such a part of our life that we, and that can be the danger of habits, or it can be the best benefit of them, right? And habits affect everything that we do in our lives, our productivity, our ability to achieve goals, our finances, shopping habits versus saving habits. All of these, if we recognize them and we control them, they can work for us.
Yeah, and even when you think about it, like the smallest things, like brushing our teeth, whether in the morning, in the evening, and then what you do the first thing in the morning. And the thing is that nowadays, the first thing we do in the morning, a lot of us, is grab our phones and check our phones. And this is a habit.
Mhm.
Whether it's something that serves us or not, it's a completely different question. And
Mhm.
actually, this is one of the things we want to talk about, right? Like
Yeah.
how like the difference between the habits that actually help us, the let's call them good ones, the one that serve us, and the ones that are the bad ones, the one that don't help us at all.
Mhm.
And like I personally remember like with habits, like the first book that I actually listened to, it was one of the first audiobooks I listened to was The Power of the Habit by Charles Duhigg. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing his name properly, but uh, it was such an eye-opening book. It's like, wow, unbelievable. And like he was explaining all about like what a habit is, how it works, and he was talking about personal habits, but then he also talked about organizations. Like the example with Alcoa was there, right? And then also
Mhm.
with NFL. It was amazing, like just listening to what it is, and then a little bit later after that, what happened? James Clear introduced Atomic Habits, and this
Mhm.
one I have. We actually have here the physical book, and
Mhm.
wow! Oh, and I know that probably is not very visible because of the background. Yeah, like this is a little bit more visible. So it's
Mhm.
this one. What I loved about it is the practicality. It's basically like so practical and gives you like step by step, do this, do this, do this. And just like you said, nowadays like habits are so ingrained, like we've learned so much about it. And this is like one of the best things about being living in 21st century. Like the amount of knowledge and the science that we have right now and what we are finding about the way we operate as people. And this is um, the thing, like as a business owner, right? As a business owner, entrepreneur, solopreneur, staying on top of these things, right? Like, and I know that our podcast is all about go achievement, productivity. Uh, But in general, like learning about human behavior, it's so fascinating because it helps us grow, like for our own personal development, but it also helps us be better leaders. But anyway, I'm going a little bit off the tangent. So
That's okay.
Ultimately, habits shape who we are, right? And the thing is that it doesn't matter. Like, the things that we do once in a while, they don't really matter. They don't bring, not that they don't really matter, but they don't bring the results. Like, what matters is what we do every day. Like, these are the things that actually created the results, like whether in business or in our personal life. And at some point, here is the thing, that at some point, so initially something is hard, right? Like when we start doing something, like it's hard, but as we build habits and as we keep on doing the same thing over and over again and over and over again and over and over again, ultimately it shapes our identity. And as I said, the results we create, it defines, like our future is actually defined by what we do every single day.
And one of the reasons our brain really likes habits is because it removes the energy that we need to spend making decisions.
Yeah.
Habits are automatic. So we get up, we feel hungry, we get up, we open the fridge, we don't have to make a decision on whether we should do it, spend any energies, and this is why it's very important to identify our daily habits. I mean, this decision fatigue, it's basically has built humans to have 80% of our daily tasks are habitual. So let's identify those habits. Let's identify the good ones, build on them, identify the bad ones, and we'll talk about this shortly, but we can't really get rid of habits. We just have to replace them and replace them with good ones. They say that small habits done consistently lead to massive changes. It's like we don't even realize it, and we don't even have to spend energy on doing it because they're habitual.
Absolutely. And I think that is probably more than 80%. It's like most of the things we do. And like you said, a lot of times we don't even realize it. And it's really ingrained. Like there's no, like, don't judge yourself that, oh, I'm so bad at things. Like this is human biology, psychology, like it's so natural. Like the main part, actually the oldest part of our brain, like its only function is to help us survive. And helping us survive means having enough energy. And like Joris, like you said, habits help our brains preserve energy and do things while focusing on other stuff. So like it's really like it's really natural. But as with everything else in life, it all starts with awareness. And that's why we're bringing this topic today. And actually, this week will be all about habits and routines as we're moving into a new week. And so when it comes to habits, you nailed it when you said like you can't eliminate a habit, you need to replace it. And so in the Power of the Habit book, like one of the things that stood out for me, and I still remember, is the habit loop, right? So what happened is we have a cue, and a cue can be like, it can be time of day, like, oh, it's 3 p.m, suddenly I feel bored, let me grab a cookie and coffee or something like this. It can be the fridge, right? Like just seeing something, like, oh, the fridge, let me open it and see what's in there. Like walking in the kitchen, right? It can be a cue. So there are different things that serve as cues, like visual, the sounds, like different things that serve as cues. And
it could be physical, headache, hunger, a physical reaction, which a lot of people, they don't really say, okay, I'm hungry. Staying hungry is okay. No, we say, okay, you're hungry, get up and do something.
Yeah,
And
it's the
those are
trigger.
it's a trigger. So we need to identify those.
So the cue is the trigger, the thing that triggers the action that makes us do something. And then what happens, like within the brain, is that this cue, it actually creates a craving. Like our brain actually starts expecting the outcome. It starts expecting that, Oh, after like what will happen after the habit is done, right? Like, oh, I will feel I will feel full, like saturated. Like I will be happy or whatever it is, right? And then like this combination of the trigger, what we see, and that thing in the brain that says, oh, I already feel that reward coming up is what actually makes us take the
Respond.
action, to take
Yeah.
the action, yeah, right, respond, the actual habit, the action itself. And then from there, of course, we get the benefit, like we get the reward out of it. And this is a loop, right? The more we do it, and I love this example of like if you think about a field of grass, and
Mm.
if you walk through this field once a year, think about it. Like the grass will grow taller and taller, and like you will not see the path. Every time you go there, there will be no path. If you go once a month through this field, then you will probably start seeing the path. Like the grass might be a little bit shorter where you walk. If you go once a week, you'll see even more of a path. And then if you go through this once a day or even twice a day, then you actually turn this into a real path. And this is with habits, like with the habit loop. This is what happens: is that the more we do the same thing, right? The more we, uh, let's say again, it's 3 p.m. And I'm craving afternoon coffee and a cookie, and I go to Starbucks and I grab it, and then I get the reward of the afternoon coffee and the cookie, and then like, the more I do it every single day, every single day, every single day, it turns into a path, and
Mhm.
it becomes like I think in the Power of the Habit he was talking like the roots, like the way that like with the a tree with the roots as well, like how strong they get as we do it more
Mhm.
and more. So understanding how habits work is actually key uh, when it comes to building new ones, the ones we want, and also, of course, replacing the ones we don't want. And uh, I
Mhm.
don't really want to call them good and bad habits, habits that serve us and the ones that don't, because
Don't
uh,
serve. Yeah.
yeah, a habit that serves you right now as a business owner, like, or as a solopreneur, for example, might not serve you when you have a team and you need to replace it with something else. So it's not like the habit was bad or is bad per
Mm.
se. It's just that it's helped you in some aspects, but now it's not serving you. So it's
Mm.
good to replace it.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the examples I really liked, and I believe I've listened to so many books. It's not funny. I don't remember which one said it. Uh, uh, the habits that serve us, they're harder to come by and harder to build. And what they're saying is, well, let's call them good habits. But there are some strategies we can use on building these habits. A few of those examples that we can talk about, or strategies. One is start small. And I like this one. Instead of exercising is hard, it's not for everyone. And the thought of going to the gym or lifting weights for an hour really like it turns people off. So start small. Start with 5 minutes, right? The other one is stacking your habits. Stack habits on top of each other, something that you do every day. For example, you brush your teeth every morning. After you brush your teeth, do 10 push-ups, and eventually you'll get into that 1 hour. It will keep building up. And also the third one is making it easy. If you like reading books, just make them handy. Put them around where you sit. So you will see that these all of a sudden your brain subconsciously will pick up the habit of reading a book.
Yeah,
Anna, you want to talk about the strategies on breaking the bad habits
I
or the
just
ones
wanted
that
to.
don't serve us?
Yeah, I just wanted to add with the ones you mentioned as well, like with the starting small, that sometimes even just putting your exercise clothes on, just for the heck of the habit itself, is what it matters. Like even if you don't do a lot, like even if it's just like 5 minutes, just the fact that you put your clothes on at this time, it makes a difference. It really makes a difference.
It does. And I've tested that actually. Every time I don't feel like working out, around 10, 10:15, 10:30, that my brain says, I don't want to start working out at 11, immediately I get up and put my gym clothes on. And
Yeah, yeah.
that thought goes away. That tells me that you're doing it at 11 o'clock. That's it. There's no other way. You're already halfway through. You have your clothes on, gym clothes on. So yeah,
Yeah,
I totally believe it. Yeah.
yeah, in a way, this removes the friction a little bit, right? Because putting your clothes on is part of the friction as well.
Yep.
So yeah, and it's one of the things when we talk about like the habits, like why it's so hard to come by them and also keep consistent with them. It's also I think it was in the Power Superhuman by Habit book that, but again, like we've read so many books on habits that like it's hard to remember which one mentions what. But one other key aspect of like of building habits is if you miss a day, it's okay, right? Like life happens, it happens. But then the next day, go right back to it, right? Go right back to it.
Mm.
And one of the things that uh, I think with the power of the habit, there was this idea that it takes 21 days to build a habit. Then
Yep.
I think in some of Robin Sharma's books, he was talking about 66 days. So again, it's not that much about like 21 days or 66 days. It's how often do you do this thing, right? Like if you do something every single day, yes, it might be 21 days. But if you do it every week, like just once a week, even 66 days might not be enough for you to get into the habit of doing
Yep.
this. So like when
Yep.
we're talking about the weekly planning and review, right?
Mhm.
So it might take more than 66 days just because it's something that you do once a week only.
Yep.
And one of the things when it comes to building new habits is that like someone was asking like when do you stop, right? When do you stop? And it's like
Never.
first of all, never. Yeah, like when it's a habit, like you keep on. It's something that you build for life.
Mhm.
The other thing, though, when you know, in the beginning, it's good to track. By the way, something that helps, like
Mhm.
really, and it gives you motivation, like to not break the chain, right? Like track. Okay, did
Mhm.
it, did it, did it. You know, it kind of gives a little bit of reward as well, like the tracking process itself. But one thing that can tell you that. You can stop tracking in a way is when it becomes harder to not do the thing than
Mhm.
it is to do it. And I know it's productivity, like about productivity and goal achievement for business, but like exercise is something that has so many benefits. And Joris, for you, it's like when you don't exercise 2 days in a row, like you start
Yep.
feeling the
The
like
effects.
the effects of it, right? Like it's like
Yep. Depression. I can't eat properly. Whatever I eat, I can't digest. Absolutely. Now I've gone to a point where you're right. I don't need to track. I don't need to do. It's like part of my lifestyle.
yeah, it's part of the lifestyle, and it's easier for you to do it than not to do it.
Not do it. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so this is one
Absolutely.
thing you can look for. Like in the beginning, when you're building a new habit, of course, you want to mm, track and make sure that if you miss one day, the next day you get back to it, right? Like you get back to it
Yep.
and make sure you do it. Because in the beginning, like it's hard. Like it's not. We will not sugarcoat it. If it was easy, we would all be superhumans.
Hmm.
But the
And everybody would
reality
do
is
it. Yeah.
that yeah, the reality is that 99% of us are not superhumans, right?
Hmm.
So in the beginning it's
Yep.
hard. That's why, George, like you said, small steps, remove the friction, stack
Yep.
it. Like these are great things. And then
Hmm.
on the reverse side, when it comes to replacing or breaking a habit that you don't want anymore, create more friction. Like make it as
Hmm.
hard as possible. Like if snacking is a problem, don't even buy the snack, right? I don't
Hmm.
even buy it, right? I don't even
Hmm.
when you are in the store, don't buy it.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
which in a way removes the queue as well, right? It makes it even invisible because like the bag of chips over there is not there, you know.
Yep.
So it even removes the queue, and sometimes when you remove it from your environment, like you even forget about it. Like, yes, the
Yep.
first few days might be hard, but And then the other thing is, like you said, replace it with something else.
I was just about to talk about the replacement.
Yeah. Go
Habits
ahead.
are hard, almost impossible to break. The way we don't want to get into too much science, but the way that our brain pathways are programmed for every habit, it's almost impossible to break a habit, to get rid of a habit, to stop a habit. So what they recommend is for you to replace it. You get up and go to the refrigerator. Go to the kitchen to grab a bag of chips. You cannot break that. You will get up, you'll get the cue, you'll get up, you'll go to the kitchen. Instead of grabbing the bag of chips, open the refrigerator, get a piece of fruit, get two tangerines, replace the action, the response.
Yeah.
And eventually that craving for chips will go away.
And the thing is that sometimes we don't even realize that the example with the 3 o'clock craving for coffee or sweets or something like this is that a lot of times it's triggered by boredom. It can be triggered by boredom, right? And actually, ultimately, what we might crave is not that much the coffee and the cookie itself, but just a little bit of change of the routine. So in this case, you might not even need to replace the cookie and the coffee with something healthier or whatever we want to call this. But it might be like replacing the action itself. You can replace it with a walk outside. So you get up, and you just go for a walk, and you come back. And this breaks, like, yeah, you get the cue. Okay, it's 3 o'clock, and whatever, for whatever reasons, I'm not productive. I'm not focused on what I'm doing. Let me get up, go for a walk, refresh myself this way, and come back. So experiment. One of the things is like experiment and see, both with the new habits you want to build and also with the ones that you want to replace and change. Experiment and see what works. Whether
Absolutely.
grabbing a fruit instead of a cookie or chips is what works for you, or just go for a walk, like or whatever. Do 5-minute meditation, whatever really helps you. Like experiment, be a scientist, and find your own formula for success.
Absolutely. Yeah. We talked a lot about personal habits and what habits are. So during this week, we're going to dive into more work habits. How do we build them? How do we identify them? And how do we take advantage of habits in building our success?
Yeah, and with work habits, like, the thing is that with personal habits, it's a little bit more, like it's a little bit easier, right? Like we all relate to some of these things. With food, with exercising, like we all relate to these. There are moments throughout the day when we all crave something. And like you said, during the week, we will continue this conversation. And in the next, 5-6 days, we'll continue this conversation and talk about some of the habits that, as business owners, and especially solopreneurs, we might be like procrastinating on these things and not wanting to do them, but they're really key for building a business.
Yeah. Love it. Fantastic conversation. Thank you, Anna.
Oh, thanks, Joris. Thanks again. And a reminder from just a couple of days ago, we talked about progress over perfection. So again, it's not about habit, is more about the progress, building that consistency, one small step at a time, and you will see the big results. Like it compounds. Like, and the thing is that we nowadays we expect that immediate gratification, right? And with habits, fortunately, unfortunately, it's not immediate gratification. Like if you could,
time and effort.
Exactly, and if you clone yourself and one version of you starts implementing those habits that serve you and turn you into the business owner you want to be, the leader you want to be, and then the other version of you doesn't do anything, or goes in a completely opposite direction. Like month 1, you might not see any difference. Month 2, you might not see, but gradually, like by month 6 or by the end of first year, you'll be like, oh wow! Like, I was reading something yesterday, recording actually something yesterday, and it's a good reminder that what you do, like the actions you take, they need to align with the goal, the dream you have, the goal you have. So the bigger your goal, the bigger your dream, the more committed you need to be with your habits, with what you do every single day. So I'll leave you with this to ponder on this Sunday. And we will be back tomorrow early in the morning to continue the conversation and dive more into, Joris, like you said, more into
work habits.
Work habits, yeah, the ones that help us build our businesses.
Yeah, and the good, very, very good habit you guys should all start building is to subscribe and comment on our videos.
Yeah,
Let
and
us know
listen to
what
this
you,
every single day. Yeah, true.
and come and make this part of your, brush your teeth and then come listen to our podcast and comment.
Absolutely.
Be part of the conversation.
Oh yeah, I love it.
All right.
Good reminder. Good reminder. Build the habit of starting your day with us. We are cool and sometimes fun, so
you are,
join us.
but I'm not.
Oh yeah, sure.